From my early age, I was fond of reading books and writing. I have written 4 novels, and just when I was thinking of the fifth one, I have received many letters and mails suggesting me some ideas. None of those letters impressed me, but a letter from Mr. Anthony impressed me a lot with his one-page idea. Mr. Anthony?
Yeah.
Come in, come in.
You seem to have nice house, Mr. John.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
That's quite an idea, I must say, Mr. Anthony. It's fascinating, gripping. Yet, I could see some mystery in that one-page idea that you wrote to me. Come on. Come sit. So, can you elaborate on it? I mean, I really want to reconfirm it. If it has an X factor, a fleshing out of 200 pages book? And what is it about Christopher that's so amusing?
Every story has an X factor, sir. Sometimes you really need to read between the lines to derive it.
Mm-hmm.
Not every story is all happy and bed of roses. There are stories which hit you on a personal level. Christopher's story happens to be one of those, which hit me on a very personal level. Mr. John, do you understand the fundamentals of astrophysics? Do you, sir?
Not really.
Christopher did. Christopher not only understood the fundamentals of astrophysics, but he also dug into various aspects surrounding astrophysics. At the age of 17 itself, legend says his room was a mini library. Even his loo had a cupboard which consisted of vivid range of books that he used to study. Christopher. He was a prodigy, a gifted young fella, an outstanding student. So much that he used to complete a 2,000-page book in just 2 days. That voracious a reader he was. Right at the age of 12, he had a wider perspective of what life had to offer. Mr. John, may I know your academic qualifications, if I may ask?
MA Literature. I was a gold medalist.
So was Christopher. Gold medalist. Not only did he excelled in academics, but also he excelled in extracurricular activities like debates, swimming, and even public speaking.
Huh, that's interesting. But what is it that made him hanged?
With knowledge and wisdom, he acquired another dangerous quality called ego. He couldn't stand the fact of someone contradicting him or even speaking against him.
Mm-hmm.
With the passage of time, He couldn't tolerate the fact that people are opposing him. His perspective was the right perspective. And there is nothing in the world that could surpass his views. Period. This obsession of his grew to such an extent that he couldn't even go out with his family. He could not even spend time with them. He could not even have dinner with them. Everything in his life seemed lifeless. Home for him was no longer home. It seemed like a mental asylum where he was the patient of highest degree of mental disorder. But then one fine day, a ray of hope came to his life in the form of a doll named Emily.
What? Is talking to a doll?
You see, Mr. John, when you don't have someone to vent your frustration on, you find people to be lifeless. And lifeless objects to be full of life. And this bloody was the case with Christopher.
Cool.
His conversations with Emily got intense with the passage of time. And this was caught by his father.
Then?
And then, you must know what must have happened, Mr. Writer John. Christopher went through a series of beatings after this, to which his mother and brother were amused spectators. His mother never gave him the love he craved for. His brother, he used to treat him like a dog waiting for a biscuit. And his father, he used to beat him every fucking day. Christopher, that very day, Mr. John, died 1,000 deaths inside his head. 1,000 deaths. But little did his family know that this would give rise to an animal inside Christopher.
And?
You know what it feels like, Mr. John, when your own family disowns you. When they're planning upon sending you to a mental asylum. It feels sick, Mr. John. It's terrible feeling. Christopher one day overheard the conversation his family was confidently having. That's it. That's it, Mr. John. He has had enough for his life. That's it. After that, it was only him and Emily. But this didn't end here, Mr. John. Christopher created an aversion to all the parents who physically and mentally torture their children. But it was not too soon that police had got him and hanged him. Yes, they hanged him, Mr. John. They hanged him.
Mr. Anthony, I can't really do this. I feel it's very psychotic.
He's not a psycho, Mr. John. He's not a psycho!
Mr. Anthony, please leave the house right now.
Mr. John, he's not a psycho. Please understand.
And you know what? He fucking killed his family, and I'll call him a psycho! You better please leave. Emily. Emily. My dear Emily. How did you get in?
I'm not a psycho, Mr. John. I'm just a man with an additional pinch of ego. The world never understood me, Mr. John. I wanted you to introduce me to them. The world needs to know the other side of what Christopher was.
But why did you choose only me?
Because your 4 novels were mysterious, yet fictional. But mine was real, Mr. John. Mine was completely real. And you were excited when you first read the 1-page idea that I gave you. Isn't that sufficient, Mr. John? I want you to help me, Mr. John. I want you to help me. Will you help me in introducing me to the world? I hope you will let me down.
He was hanged, but he was always called a psycho.